So Liz Cambage came out of retirement today. Yeah, yesterday she technically came out of retirement, even though she never retired and was always going to go back and play for China. Considering the fact that to play 3 months, she's getting paid however many millions of dollars, probably $1 million. There was never a chance she wasn't going to play. But it just so happened that the day before she announced her return to China, all the articles were like, she joins OnlyFans and makes more money in 1 week their entire playing career. This is from years ago, by the way. This just randomly went viral. This is from years ago. She says, basketball was a part of me, but it wasn't all of me. She joined the platform to post fashion, artistic, and content. I don't even care. I actually don't even care with what Liz Cambage decides to do, to be honest. I don't really care, but it's funny that the second that this got kind of people were starting to talk about this is the day that she ends up deciding that she ends up signing for Sichuan in the Chinese league. And again, her debut was I'm not entirely sure how I'll describe a debut. I don't think it was a bad debut, but I watched bits of the games and it's it's frustrating watching Liz Cambage because she can literally be the best. She could be the best player in the world if she wanted to, but she doesn't really want to. And if you guys agree with that, subscribe. We're going for 41k by the end of the month. That's the goal. Goal is to just keep chipping away, get to 45k by the start of WNBA season. Then we're going for 100 by the end of the year. We're going all out. If you guys agree, that would be greatly appreciated. But here are some of her highlights. And in fairness, some of the things she got were nice. Some of her buckets were nice in this game. And to start off the game, hitting this turnaround over Camila Cardoso was impressive. And considering this is her first game back, I'm not going to complain too much about it. Hitting these one leg fades is impressive. She's just so skilled. Swats Camila Cardoso, nice turnaround over Camila, and obviously facing up game. Look, she's maybe the most talented player, the highest ceiling player in the history of women's basketball. She could have been the greatest ever. She genuinely could have been the greatest player of all time. Liz Cambage goes and hits the free throw there. But it was 15 points, but I'm watching the game and I'm they didn't play her in the fourth quarter. Really nice turnaround there. And it's the fact is she's 6'8", maybe 6'9" with touch. But I was watching parts of the game and it's she was on, her team has got Hanju, who is insane. I think that's how you pronounce her name. If I mistake, if I did mispronounce it, I do want to apologize. But she's a player that, as far as I'm aware, the New York Liberty own the rights to. And she is a 6'9" center. She's a 6'9" center who's played in the WNBA. And she's dominating in the Chinese basketball league this year. She's been one of the best players in the league. She plays for Sichuan. And she's only 25, so if she wants to go, she could be a good player in the WNBA. I fully believe that if she wants to go back. But what she was doing in this game was obviously she's playing the post. They've won all their games, and Liz Cambage, if Han was standing somewhere where Liz Cambage thought that she could have been open, we were then seeing Liz Cambage just almost throw her hands to the ceiling or just start walking around and just getting in the way. And this team is actually, this Sichuan team is really, really good. Just the way they play, the way they move the ball, the way their players shoot. They didn't even need an import. There's a rule in the Chinese basketball league where it's you can have 2 non-foreign players on the floor at all times. But in the fourth quarter, you can only have 1. Which is why down the stretch, Camila Cardoso wasn't, she was on the floor down the very stretch of the game. But, you've got you had Cambage off the floor and they put on their guard foreign player instead of Cardoso, and she played the very end but didn't play most of the fourth, whereas Liz Cambage sat for the whole fourth. Her team really was as good without her, but at the same time, look, this is her first game back this year, and it's so frustrating watching Cambage because you're she should have been the greatest ever. She should have been the best player. It's imagine if Wemby, she's what, 6'8", she's the same height as Breanna. It would be imagine if Wemby had Shaq's strength. That's almost what the equivalent of what Liz Cambage is for the WNBA. Like, she has absolutely no real flaws in her game, but like you can see just the way she was playing when she was playing. Like, she was just this dominant inside force who could take it outside. She didn't run hard. She never played hard. She wasn't like Cardoso, who runs like a gazelle, but she was just unguardable. Like, you're looking at the way she was sealing, the way she was finishing. She had the touch. She had the outside game. She had the inside game. Liz Cambage had everything. She has everything as a player, and she still does. Like, look, if Liz Cambage wanted to walk back into the WNBA right now, she's an all-star. Like, that's the reality situation. Better centers than her in the WNBA right now. If Age is playing center, A'ja Wilson is better. And is she better than Brittany Griner? I don't know, maybe. Is she better than Leah Boston? Very different types of players, I guess. But, like, she is still really freaking good. And it's so mad. Like, she's 33 now. But if you're looking at her seasons, she plays a rookie year. Plays her second year. And doesn't play until she's 26 years old. And then that season, she comes second in MVP. In her first WNBA season in like 6 years, she goes and nearly wins MVP. And then, obviously, in her last season, she just didn't play in the wobble. And then in her last season, she was averaging 13 a game through a couple of games. But that was like freaking Derek Fisher, Liberty, or Sparks, which was the biggest absolute shit show of a team ever. But, yeah, it was an interesting one. Someone said she retired from WNBA. She makes more money doing literally anything else. So she said it. She said to make comeback salaries over worth it. For reference, she made over $1 million for 2 months playing in China. No one in the W made more than $250K. And yeah, that's the reality is that she signed a $1 million for like 2-month deal. And that's just a fact. And this is the maddest thing, is like all the news reports about this one's like, has she retired and joined OnlyFans? She made more money in her first week on OF. The reality is, I think she did, but that was years ago. And she's been back playing. And look, everything. There is very, very few redeeming qualities of Liz Cambage as a person from what we've seen. But yeah, she's a hell of a player, I guess. And, sometimes when you're good enough at basketball, the rest of the other stuff can be ignored. But she was pretty decent in her first game back. I thought her and Cardoso probably were matched up evenly enough. I genuinely do think that her and Cardoso were very much very evenly matched in this game. So I'm not going to say that like she dominated. I'm not going to say she got destroyed. But I was impressed by Cardoso coming up against her. But I was also kind of impressed, in fairness, with how Liz Cambage was playing after not playing basketball for a year, pretty much. But anyway, I'll see you guys.